we go. Alright, anyway, that's got it. Good evening, everybody. It is Monday night here at the BTA Network. It's Monday, that means it's time for Monday Mayhem. We got a few stories that, didn't quite get, on the main radar. But unfortunately, there is one big one that, well, we're going to have to talk about here. And I'll tell you what it is in a few minutes. Anyway, I'm your host for tonight. I am OddblogStream. I'm currently joined on the line by two of my crazy cohorts. First, to my left, we have our resident joker, Mike. Hello, Mike.
Hello, everyone. And also, Tim Tam, thank you, ma'am.
Tim Tam.
Hey, Tim. Hey, Tim. Tim. Welcome to the insanity that is BTA.
Yeah. He's been on before.
At least a couple times.
Yeah, not often, but he has been. And then below is our tiny Oreo, Janet. Hello, Janet.
I'll probably be there again.
Oh, excuse me. Hello.
Yep, and also in the chat room is our man from the Bronx, Sajo. And of course, it's Monday. That means it's Monday Night Raw on Netflix right now. So.
Hey, Sajo, enjoy.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Yeah, and by the way, you probably have noticed I didn't change the quokka, but I did change the music. So thank you to Soundfxeffects.com for the fantasy music, because it's like, oh, thank you, that sounds good. So thank them for that. And of course, we have a new animated big opening. That's courtesy of CreateStudio. I swear to God, I love that thing. Because it got me able to do something else, which I'll show you a little later.
Excuse me.
Excuse. What can I say?
Oh shit, I'm being contagious. I'm contagious.
Yeah, well, at least you don't get sick from yawning.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I gotta grab something.
Okay.
All right.
Grab away.
Hey, Tim. How was your week?
I have the mic muted, Jan. I'm gonna mute it for just another few seconds.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
So in other words, he can hear you, but he won't be able to talk back yet.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry for yawning, but
That's okay. When you're tired, you're tired.
I know I had Taco Bell for dinner tonight. And it was pretty good.
¿Tú quieres Taco Bell?
Yeah, I wanted my Taco Bell and I got it too. I did it through
Yep. All right.
not DoorDash, but the other one.
Grubhub?
Grubhub. Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you something funny. I watched that Brownville Deer Pantry up in Maine. They had their live show on YouTube. Somebody came up with the perfect name for how they feed the deer. Deer Dash.
Good one.
Yeah, I like that. Deer Dash, because this is amazing. They go through about 900 pounds a day. I mean, those things.
They must.
Go ahead.
You first.
Okay. They get, according to them this morning, they get like 160 deer every day.
Man, they must have a good income to be able to afford all that grain and fruit.
Well, the thing is, a lot of it comes from all of us super chatting, members, and so forth.
Yeah, just the way the donations with Sid Squad go to Little Wings.
Right. Mm-hmm. But in their case, it goes to directly get the food and the oats, the apples, and things. Now the good news is the apples. I remember the other day they said that it comes from a local orchard, so which is good.
So that helps.
Yeah, it does.
And the thing about it is, they were very lucky to get special mission from the Maine Game and Fish Department to be able to do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because technically, it is against the law to put food out for wild deer.
Right.
Because if it was allowed, hunters would use it to bait the deer so they could get their quota.
Right.
During the hunting season.
Right, but at least the good news is, from what I remember, they've been doing this since 2016. So. which is pretty cool.
The deer are grateful. I saw a cool close-up of a deer.
Uh-huh.
It was a buck,
Mm-hmm.
and he still had his velvet on his antlers.
Ah,
So I don't know if that was pre-antler drop or post-antler drop. I
yeah.
don't know.
All right. So anyway, I got
Can
a.
I say Can I give my little bit of news
Oh
pertaining to
yeah.
the fire before you get started?
Yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
You know how bad the fires in California have been, especially in Palisades?
Mm-hmm. Pacific
There
Palisades.
was a Yeah, there was an artist. He's very well known in Palisades. Okay, he had come to Arizona doing an art show, and he lost his house while he was in Arizona doing his art show,
Mm-hmm.
and that's very sad. He has nothing to go back to.
Yeah.
Can you Can you imagine that?
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough for
Yeah.
some of those people.
Oh, but the good thing is that I saw on the news tonight all the animals are being helped.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Even the injured are getting help.
Yeah,
The injured
and
animals.
yeah, and speaking of which, there is a Monday night playoff game right now between the Rams and I forgot the other team, but they had to move it out of LA because of the wildfires. So the Arizona Cardinals said, "Hey, come use our stadium. You don't have to worry about a thing."
That's
It's
awesome.
just a few miles up the road from me, too.
Yeah,
Alexa,
Right there.
who's ahead in the Monday night football game?
it's the Vikings. That was the other
Having
team.
trouble hearing. Can you say that again?
Who is ahead in the Monday night football game?
In
Against the
Monday
Vikings.
night football game on Monday, December 30th, the Lions beat the 49ers 40.
Alexa,
Stop.
who,
No,
Stop.
stop. Let me look it up. Hold
Not sure how
on.
to help you with that.
Just let me look it up. Hold on. It
I
was the
was
Vikings,
trying.
by the way.
Like Google when you're trying to do it. Doesn't do it.
Okay, let's see. Rams versus liking Rams versus Likings. Okay. Ooh, let's see. Come on. Okay. Right now it's the third quarter with 9:20 left, and the Rams are destroying the Vikings 24-3.
Damn.
So
That didn't last long.
No.
no, but now hang on. There's still 9 minutes 20 seconds left in the third quarter, so there's still time. It's not over yet. Trust me when I say this, I've seen some weird things happen. Okay,
Oh, that's where my phone went.
but yeah, just a heads up. Right now, the Rams are leading, and like I said, right now they are playing at the stadium where the Cardinals play because the Cardinals decided to say, "Hey, you know what? Take the game over here. Don't worry about the wildfire." So
Go over the teams again.
the Vikings
That-
and the Rams.
So they're doing it on the Cardinals field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
They're at State Farm Stadium, which is in Glendale.
Right.
I thought the Cardinals was a baseball name.
Well, there's
No?
the baseball Cardinals. Now they're back in St. Louis though, and then there's the Arizona Cardinals, who used to be the St. Louis Cardinals football team.
Oh. I'm thinking of the
Oh, it gets a little confusing, Tim.
Yeah. Trust me, sports can get very confusing, especially when the Baltimore Colts suddenly moved to Indianapolis one night without any warning, and boy, the people in Baltimore were not happy.
No.
Yeah, the Baltimore Colts.
Mm-hmm. Suddenly became Indianapolis Colts, but Baltimore did get a football team back, the Ravens. So cool with the Raven Nevermore. All right. Okay. I actually got a bunch of stories. So here are the picks. GameStop is quietly shutting down stores in the United States. Or Bob Dylan is a superstar, so why did Dothan snub him? Or, now this one's the one, this is going to make you very angry on this one. Your mom died, but go get a burger. Factory where workers died in floods sent gift cards to victims' families.
Ooh.
Walmart says customers should discard recalled chicken broth. And finally, this one has literally broke today. Neil Gaiman allegations. Multiple women accuse Sandman author of sexual assault.
Ouch.
So which one would you like? Would you like me to get the rent rocket out of the way first, or what?
Yeah, let's go ahead with the rant rocket.
Alright, so, this is your mom died, but go get a burger. It's like, oh my god. Alright, so, and now, I got my wrestling on Netflix. Alright, gotcha, Sajo. Anyway, I'm going to debut the Supernova Rant Rocket, and here's the best part. It's transparent. This makes me so happy. So, really not, we won't hear, I'm not going to hear it here, you won't hear it here, but if you're watching, you're going to hear it. So, here we go. Here's the Supernova. I can't believe this worked.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! 5 seconds and worth it. Alright. Okay.
I've got an article to read later, too.
Okay. Alright. So here's what it is. Your mom died to go get a burger. Factory where workers died in flood sent gift cards to victims' families. Now this was published back on Friday afternoon. And this is out of Nashville. Families whose loved ones died at a Tennessee plastic factory during flooding from Hurricane Helene say they were recently hit with a slap in the face from the company when they received fast food gift cards. Flooding from the hurricane hit the Impact Plastics factory in eastern Tennessee on September 27th and killed 6 workers. Lawsuits filed against the company say that the deaths were preventable, claiming that employees had asked to leave work but were told no. Impact Plastics, however, claims its managers never told their employees they could not leave. But now, families of the co-workers who died say they have not heard directly from the company and that they were given fast food gift cards as a condolence. Oh boy, that's dumb. Family members of Bertha Mendoza, who was among those killed, said the gift cards add insult to injury. Her son Guillermo Mendoza said when Impact Plastics sent him his mom's final paycheck, he was shocked to find what else was in the envelope. It had some McDonald's gift cards, Guillermo Mendoza said through tears. He said there were also gift cards to Walmart and another local fast food restaurant chain called Pal's. The gift cards totaled $100. It was like, your mom died to go get a burger, Guillermo Mendoza said. It happened, so here is a little snack. Employees who survived the flooding, including Robert Jarvis, said they also received gift cards from the company. I was shocked and it bothered me, Jarvis said. That is how they treated us and what they thought about us. Other affected families also received the gift cards, according to attorney Luke Widener, who was with the law firm representing the victims. It was a slap in the face, Widener said. Attorneys for Impact Plastics... Hold on. I'm not quite finished yet. Attorneys for Impact Plastics and its owner, Gerald O'Connor, have not responded to WSMV's request for comment. Obviously, we are very upset, Guillermo Mendoza said. He also said he worked at Impact Plastics during college. His aunt, who is his mom's sister, also worked at the factory for more than 16 years. He said his aunt survived the flood that day and was the one who told him that his mom did not make it. Attorneys said the aunt was among the surviving employees who also received the gift cards. For now, the Mendozas are trying to come to terms with the fact that their matriarch is gone. Guillermo said his mom and dad would have celebrated their 39th wedding anniversary last week. We are trying to find out how to move forward, he said, calling his mom the backbone of our family. I agree. A gift card at a time like this, inappropriate.
Agreed.
You know what the company should have done? You know those people that lost family members and were displaced by the flood? Should have helped with either funeral costs. I don't know how much money the company made. I'm assuming a lot. They should have helped with funeral expenses or to find another place to stay till they got a new house.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah, or at least, do something to help all the families that got displaced. Because I've heard of stories where, like, something happened to... I know I can't remember, I think this was somewhere in Massachusetts a few years, about maybe 15 years ago. And a factory basically burned to the ground. The CEO gave them all full paid paychecks every week I think for about a year and a half until that plant was rebuilt.
Wow. Mm.
So there are good people out there, but I'm sorry, Impact Plastics, you get the finger. Because I'm
like
so
this.
yeah.
Doop.
Yeah.
Boom.
Because I'm sorry, you do not solve a problem like that with gift cards. Okay? Gift cards are great at Christmas, but this is not one of those times for it.
Tell me about it. I know. Um, how many other articles do you have?
Uh
Because
a
I'd like to
few more.
read mine,
Yeah,
and
go
then you
ahead.
could take.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Remember how I was hoping that the fires were not man caused?
Uh-huh.
Mother Nature had a hand in it.
Oh, that's true. Well,
And I'll keep it short so you can carry on with yours.
okay.
Presumed cause of the Los Angeles fires. U.S. investigators believe that a power line, which can withstand wind speeds up to 90 kilometers per hour, was outdone at 150 kilometers per hour, causing the line to fall and sparks to fly.
I believe it.
Authorities are trying to determine the cause of the fires while they're not ruling out the possibility of arson. One theory that is gaining ground is that overhead power transmission and distribution cables, shaken or blown down by strong winds, may have produced sparks that ignited the dry vegetation below.
Mm-hmm. Those Santa Ana
And,
winds are notorious.
yeah, the region's public sector power companies usually cut power in the event of alerts such as the Santa Ana winds, but this wasn't the case this time. Looks like it's part nature, part human caused.
Mm-hmm.
According to the latest information, the Santa Ana winds are set to blow with renewed force at least until Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the
And
biggest
I
Go ahead.
I know how bad power lines can spark
Oh, yeah.
because when I lived at my old house in Mesa, we had a windstorm come up. And I was standing out in my driveway and I happened to look down the street towards Broadway Road, which
Mm-hmm.
was one of the east-west roads near our house.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a power line, and the wind was blowing the power lines like this,
Mm-hmm.
and they were
Uh-huh.
sparking each time they hit,
I believe it.
and pretty fireworks too.
Yeah.
But
But
I hope
still.
that it's the wind and not the people.
Yeah.
Okay, next article.
All
Mine's
right.
done.
Okay. So let's see. We've got GameStop quietly shutting down stores in the U.S. Bob Dylan and the Dothan Snub. Now this was in the 90s. Don't worry. The Walmart chicken broth recall or the Neil Gaiman allegations.
GameStop.
All right,
GameStop.
GameStop it is. Because yeah, I saw this like, oh shit, this isn't good. All right. So
This reminded me of the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, GameStop is quietly shutting down stores in the United States, and this was posted back on the 8th. This was last Wednesday. So, for many gamers of a certain age, trips to the local GameStop to buy or trade in games are a core memory. Before the days of digital downloads, this game store was a cornerstone of the gaming community and one of the most reliable places to get a hold of new games. In recent years, however, the stores have had their fair share of financial challenges, thanks in large part to the ease of downloading digital games from home. And the fact that no matter what happens, and this is just me, the prices are the same, digital download or physical game. So, anyway.
Unless it's pre-owned, then it's a different story. But otherwise, yeah.
Anyway, a trip to the local GameStop now reveals much more in the way of Funko Pops and plushies than in actual games on the shelves. I should know, I've bought quite a few of the Funko Pops at GameStop before. But for many gamers in the US, even this version of the old gaming titan may soon vanish. The closure of local GameStops is something of an ongoing problem, and more than 1,000 US locations have shut down since the great retail killer that was 2020. However, widespread reports from across social media suggest that GameStop is once again on a spree of closing several physical retail locations in the US. but without a public announcement. Everyone from local gamers to former GameStop employees have taken to the GameStop subreddit and other areas of social media to reveal recent closures. Many employees are less than thrilled with how the layoffs and store shutdowns are being handled, especially with the lack of public acknowledgement. According to social media posts, some employees are being transferred to other stores, but many more are being let go in what appears to be a massive downsizing of in-person operations for the company. Gamers say fond farewell to local GameStop locations. Amidst the frustration of former employees and customers who want to see a clear public statement from the company, many gamers are waxing nostalgic about the old days. As stores that have been part of communities for decades close down, many gamers can't help but look back on the memories. Those old days of browsing the shelves looking for a used game bargain or lining up to snag a day of midnight release loom large in the lives of many gamers. Many are taking a moment to thank their local stores for what they have been, despite overall frustration with the company at the corporate level. Others have practical questions about what these closures mean for customers. Some want to know if stores with announced closures will have clearance sales, for instance, while others are curious about what happens for any pre-orders they made at that store location. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like this information is readily available, at least not until GameStop makes a formal announcement or statement about the closures. As of now, the reported closures appear to be for the U.S. locations only. GameStop also operates retail locations in Canada, Australia, and Europe, but the U.S. is by far the largest sector of its physical retail stores. So it makes sense that this would be the first place for the company to turn when shutting doors. What comes next for GameStop remains to be seen, but it's hard for gamers to view the widespread quiet closures as positive news for the company's future.
I've never been into GameStop.
I have. But, but that's just.
Well,
that's
you
just
know what?
awful.
You know what?
What?
Some people, even though they like digital downloads, excuse me, they also like a physical copy.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Okay,
I
here's
had a bunch of disc games, and when I lost my Steam, I lost all of those downloads too. But,
Okay, quick score update. 27-9, LA over Minnesota. So,
oh, owie.
yeah, but there's still 5:05 left in the third. So, like I said, there's still time. It's not over yet. Okay, so now we got 3 stories left. Bob Dylan and the Dothan snub of the 90s, the Walmart chicken broth, or Neil Gaiman.
Dylan.
All right, this is an interesting one. Bob Dylan is a superstar, so why did Dothan snub him? It's an interesting story.
Not able to charge that fast.
So here's what happened. Now this was back in the 90s, so this wasn't recent, but it's an interesting story. Anyway, Bob Dylan is among the most extraordinary singers and songwriters ever. If Wikipedia is correct, he has sold over 125 million records in his remarkable 60-year career. For fans, especially those fond of folk music, witnessing a live Dylan performance is a treat. For decades, he packed arenas worldwide, and a movie about his life is currently playing in theaters. Nobody would turn down the chance to host a Bob Dylan concert. Nobody, that is, except Dothan. By 1995, the string of Dothan Civic Center concerts had fizzled as those in charge of the arena sought to trade screaming guitars for graceful ballet and fiddles for violins. During that year, Dylan traveled the globe on his never-ending tour, eventually landing in the Deep South. With an October 11th date in Atlanta's famed Fox Theater, but nothing else until an October 14th show in Biloxi, Mississippi, promoters approached the Civic Center about a performance there. According to news reports, Civic Center folks told them that the people of Dothan would not be interested in seeing Dylan perform live. And that would have been the end of this story had someone not tipped off the media who reported that Dothan, Alabama had snubbed Bob Dylan. His fans, serious and casual, were outraged and clamored loudly after a news report exposed what happened. And this was long before there was Facebook, Twitter, and all this other social media.
Yeah. Hey, they had something better than Twitter back then.
They didn't have really
It's called
anything but word of
No,
mouth.
no, listen, they had things that are a lot better than Twitter back then. They had word of mouth.
Yep. All right, so almost immediately, the Civic Center management relented, and on October 12th, 1995, Bob Dylan made his only trip to town, entertaining an enthusiastic audience for nearly 2 hours. So here is the set list from that night, according to BobDylan.com. Drifter's Escape, If Not For You, All Along the Watchtower, I Believe in You, Watching the River Flow, Silvio, Mr. Tambourine Man, Masters of War, Don't Think Twice, It's All Right, God Knows, She Belongs to Me, Highway 61 Revisited, Knocking on Heaven's Door, One Too Many Mornings, and finally, Rainy Day Women number 12 and 35.
Yeah, I'm surprised that song got aired. If it's the one, I think one of the lines in that song that everybody must get stoned.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the song. Everybody must get stoned.
Yeah,
Excuse my off-key singing, people.
don't worry
I
about
don't
it.
sing worth shit.
Don't worry about it. But yeah, it's an amazing story, and that was 30 years. It was 30 years ago this year. It'd be the weirdest thing ever if Bob Dylan decided to come back to Dothan this year, but I pretty doubt it. I don't know. But
I'd like to see him go to Montgomery.
Well, that would take a miracle, because boy, because think about how much money it would cost to book him.
A 2 terabyte external.
But I'll tell you this: there's 2 things I can't wait to go to, and both of them were in March. Alton Brown and Whose Line Is It Anyway? Yeah, and speaking of Whose Line, people are still like, "Where's Wayne? Where's Colin? Where's Drew?" It's like,
Oh yeah.
are you guys what century are you guys in? Drew Carey is hosting The Price Is Right. Wayne Brady is busy hosting Let's Make a Deal. Colin Mockery, he's busy with his own life. But I'm happy that Ryan Stiles, Jeff B. Davis, Greg Proops, and one other guy, I think it's Josh something, but as long as I see them, I'm happy. I don't, they're busy with their lives, and people are like, "Where's Wayne?" It's like, he's hosting Let's Make a Deal. Deal with
You wanna
it.
know something? I watched Whose Line when Drew Carey hosted. I can't remember the woman's name, but I think she hosted after Drew,
Aisha
the female.
Aisha
Aisha?
Tyler.
She did a good job hosting.
But see, part of the problem is people are so stuck in the past. It's like, I want to see Drew Carey. That's kind of hard to do when he's hosting
Hey.
The Price Is Right.
Hey, people, if you want to see Drew Carey, go watch the dang Price Is Right.
Yeah. But seriously, people don't want to understand that, it's not the 2000s anymore. It's the 2020s now.
You know what? I'm looking at the picture of Mike right now with Tim sitting lower than Mike.
Uh-huh.
It looks like Tim reminds me of a mini-me of Mike. They look like they have the same kind of facial features. Am I right, Shirley?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes, yes.
And I shall name him Mini-Me.
That's great.
Hey, Mike. I warned you before the show started.
Oh, it's all good. No. It's all good.
All right.
$1 million.
Yeah.
All right, so what's next? Do we want the Walmart recalled chicken broth or Neil Gaiman?
Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Gaiman, because I don't want to hear about my favorite place to shop yet.
Oh. Okay, now this news literally broke today. Okay. Multiple women have accused Salmon author Neil Gaiman of sexual assault. So here's what's going on. Multiple women have accused the Sandman and Coraline author Neil Gaiman of sexual assault in a New York Magazine cover story, speaking on the record about their experiences. Back in July, Tortoise Media broke the news that Gaiman had been accused of sexual assault by 2 women and released a 6-part podcast, Master, which covered the allegations of 5 women. However, several of the women had used only their first names or pseudonyms to protect their identities, and a major news organization had yet to corroborate the full extent of the reporting until now. In a New York Magazine piece titled "There Is No Safe Word," reporter Lila Shapiro spoke to 8 women who had similar experiences with Gaiman, 4 of which also participated in Tortoise's podcast. One of these women, Scarlett Pavlovich, was 22 when she first met Gaiman's ex-wife Amanda Palmer in New Zealand. They struck up a friendship before Palmer asked Pavlovich to help babysit her and Gaiman's 5-year-old child. Pavlovich said that the first time she met Gaiman, while waiting for the child to finish a play date, he offered her a bath in a clawfoot tub in his garden. She alleges that he then joined her in the tub naked, asked for her to sit on his lap, and sexually assaulted her. Okay, now this, I'm going to warn you, this is going to get a little graphic, so I do apologize for this. Alright.
Okay.
Alright. He put his finger straight in my ass and tried to put his penis in my ass, and I said, no, no. Then he tried to rub his penis between my breasts, and I said, no as well. Then he asked if he could come on my face, and I said, no, but he did anyway, Pavlovich told New York Mag. He said, call me master and I'll come. He said, be a good girl. You're a good little girl. Pavlovich claims this continued for the remainder of the time since he babysat for the family, including an instance where he allegedly attempted to have anal sex with her using butter as lubricant. Oh. Okay, anybody getting grossed out by this?
I'm about to lose the chocolate I just ate.
When it was over, he called her slave and ordered her to clean him up, the article reports. She protested that it wasn't hygienic. He said, are you defying your master? She recalls. I had to lick my own shit.
Oh, now that... I hope she didn't get sick.
Me too. Representative for Gaiman told the Tortoise podcast that sexual degradation, bondage, domination, sadism, and masochism may not be to everyone's taste, but between consenting adults, BDSM is lawful. Though the New York Magazine article states that all the accusers had at some point played along by calling him master as he desired and continued to communicate with him, the women alleged that consent in specific BDSM activities had not been discussed and agreed upon prior to them happening. At another point, Gaiman was staying with his son at a hotel in Auckland and asked Pavlovich to watch the child as he got a massage. She alleges that he then proceeded to have sex with her while his son was in the room and continued to talk with him during the act. Pavlovich says she asked Gaiman, what the fuck are you doing? And was in a state of shock during the incident. Gaiman has strenuously denied all allegations against him since the Tortoise podcast came out, asserting that all revelations were consensual. In a statement in response to Pavlovich's allegation about the hotel room incident, his representative called it false, not to mention deplorable. Gaiman's reps did not immediately respond to Variety's request for further comment on the New York Magazine piece. However, Pavlovich remained in contact with Gaiman after that point, even reassuring him that at one point their interactions had been consensual. Eventually, she agreed to sign an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, and was paid, according to New York Mag, a total of $9,200 in 9 separate payments. In January 2023, she filed a police report accusing him of sexual assault, but the matter has now been closed, a police spokesperson told New York Mag. Caroline, who opted to be identified just by her first name, also signed an NDA after her experience with Gaiman. She worked as a caretaker and sometimes babysitter on Gaiman's property in Woodstock, New York, and the two began a physical relationship after her husband left her in December 2017. According to New York Mag, Caroline once fell asleep reading stories to the child in Gaiman's bed. When he returned, he got into bed with his son in the middle, then reached across the child to grab Caroline's hand and put it on his penis. The New York Mag story reads, Caroline says she jumped out of bed. He didn't have boundaries, she told the magazine. I remember thinking there was something really wrong with him. In December 2021, Caroline claims Gaiman's business manager offered her $5,000 to sign an NDA and move off the property. She asked for a much higher sum, $300,000, to which Gaiman agreed. His representative told New York Mag that Caroline initiated the sexual encounters and denied that that he engaged in any sexual activity with her in the presence of his son. Whew, this story's getting
I've
longer.
got a question.
Shoot,
Where the fucking hell was his wife throughout all this?
good question.
I lost
All right,
one of my speakers.
another accuser is Kendra Stout, who was 18 years old when she first met Gaiman at a book signing in Florida. The relationship turned physical around 3 years later, and in 2007, she alleges he raped her during a trip to the Cornish countryside after she repeatedly told him no due to having a bad UTI. Stout filed a police report in October, according to New York Magazine. Catherine
Shirley,
Kendall...
hold on 1 second. Shirley,
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Janet, could you please sit down and do this after the show?
Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, anyway. Catherine Kendall, who was 22 when she first met Gaiman in 2012, also spoke out, alleging that Gaiman attempted to assault her in his tour bus after she had told him she didn't want to have sex with him. New York Magazine reports that years later he gave her $60,000 for therapy to, as he put it in a recorded phone call, make up for the damage. As the New York Mag article states, since Tortoise's bombshell report in July, several of Gaiman's film and TV projects have been affected. Season 3 of Prime Video's Good Omens will now end with one 90-minute episode, with Gaiman not part of the production. Disney paused production on its film adaptation of the Graveyard Book, and Netflix canceled Dead Boy Detectives, though it's unclear if it was related to the allegations. However, The Sandman Season 2 is still expected to release this year on Netflix, in addition to Prime Video's Anansi Boys series adaptation. Netflix and Prime Video did not immediately respond to Variety's request for comment on the status of these shows. And that's the end of the article.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. Squid Game is going to have a third season, but it's also going to be the last season.
Huh.
So.
I never could figure out what that bizarre ass show was about.
It's basically like you're playing games, but you could easily get killed. You should watch
Yeah,
that.
I don't like those kind of games.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, that very first episode. Oh boy, red light, green light will never be the same again.
No kidding.
In other words, you were killed if you were caught moving on a red light.
Uh-huh. Yep. Anyway, now we're going to the last one. Walmart says customers should discard recalled chicken broth. So, now this was published yesterday, and this is from New York. Walmart says customers should throw out a chicken broth product that was sold in stores in mostly southern states late last year. I'm in a southern state.
That lets me out. That lets me out.
All right. The retailer has recalled 48-ounce cartons of the great value family-sized chicken broth that have been sold at 242 stores in 9 states. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration reported the recall in December, affecting just over 2,000 cases of broth with a shelf life lasting until March 2026. The FDA said the containers had packaging problems that could lead to the broth spoiling. Now, the good news is there have been no reports of any illnesses. However, Walmart says anyone who purchased the product at stores in Alabama, I'd see, that includes me, Arkansas, Georgia, Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Tennessee, or Texas should not consume the broth and can ask for a full refund. The company said it's working with the supplier to investigate. Well, thank goodness nobody got sick, but still. And this, friends, is
More
what...
people are paying attention to the recall.
Yeah.
The recall notifications.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Raw has already finished 30 minutes early. Dang. Huh. That's weird.
Wow. All right.
What?
And it's supposed to be 3.
WWF Raw ended 30 minutes early.
I wonder why. But yeah, but
Sajo will let us know.
yeah, but back to the broth. When my mother makes the chicken noodle soup or the chicken soup, she never ever uses the broth. She uses the bone broth from the chicken itself.
We do too, but if we have to supplement it when we're making a lot of soup, We have to use the supplemental thing. That's what Jack did when he made our chicken noodle soup night before last.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on each person. Me, see, one of the biggest problems I have with the box chicken broth, the sodium. It is extremely high in sodium.
Yeah. I thought I found another article, so hold
Don't worry
on.
about it.
I'm just trying to go back to my source material here.
Sutter says it's Netflix, no restrictions on time.
Yeah, that's true.
But it also helps that there's no commercials really, so.
Well, you see, the Netflix I'd have to deal with commercials anyway.
Oh.
Because I don't, you see, with the ads, it's only $6.99 a month. Without the ads, it basically almost triples. So,
Jesus.
like, nope, I'll take the commercials. It's like,
Oh, that was
I'd rather take the commercials.
Basically.
Well,
Yeah, I
let's
thought
see.
that was in the United States.
Well, let's see. Well, here.
44 car,
Oh, go ahead.
44 car pile up in Seoul, South Korea.
Ooh, that's not fun. No matter where on the planet you are. But let's see something else. Here in Montgomery at Auburn University, Montgomery, the new lab and science complex has opened for students. Because I see every time I would pass it, I would always see it being under construction. And now it's officially finished, and the first students are now enrolled at the lab. So congratulations to AUM as it continues to grow. Because I'll tell you this, when I went there in the 90s, it was nothing like it is today. So.
All right. Are you done with your articles?
Yes, I'm done.
I did find another one.
Okay.
It's the name of the article is what Hollywood has lost. What Hollywood lost in the fires, and it's a little bit of a lengthy article, and it was put out by Variety
Okay.
4 hours ago, and it's a
Okay.
12-minute read.
Okay.
Okay. Before mid-afternoon on January 7th, the Pacific Palisades area of Los Angeles was a salt air oasis tucked into the second largest city in the country. It was a kind of Mayberry, in the words of one resident, that overlooks the Pacific Ocean, lying between Santa Monica to the east and Malibu to the west. Okay. By late afternoon that day, the Palisades had turned into an unimaginable hellscape. The community that had long been home to hundreds of entertainment industry workers, was engulfed by a wildfire whipped into a merciless inferno by 80-mile-an-hour winds. The force of the howling gusts sent embers flying for miles. That ensured that the devastation would spread far and wide as tiny molten torpedoes landed indiscriminately on roofs and patios, in backyards and front yards and tree houses, and on vehicles abandoned in the pure chaos that erupted as Palisades residents were urged to evacuate. A few hours later, about 35 miles to the east in Altadena, a similarly tight-knit community in the foothills of the Angeles National Forest, same dangerous wind conditions drove another firestorm that left the residential area north of Pasadena looking like a war zone. As I'm reading this, I am picturing this in my mind.
Yeah.
The causes and the aggravating factors of both blazes will be investigated, studied, and debated for years to come. The accusations of wrongdoing and neglect aimed at state and local officials emerged as fast as the black-gray smoke and ash that blanketed both areas. But, excuse me. But for now, however, hundreds of thousands of displaced fire victims are still wrestling with their immediate loss. Crisis made that much harder by a cascade of feelings that run the gamut of numbness and shock to panic, gratitude, and fury. And even those who weren't in the direct path of the destruction are coming to grips with the magnitude of all that has been lost. Wow. That's an area bigger than Manhattan that just got leveled, said music producer Greg Wells, who lost his home and was courting studio in Pacific Palisades. It's like a small nuclear back up. It's like a small nuclear bomb went off.
Hmm.
And then it shows a picture of this burnt area, and there's a uh, wooden table that has a bottle of booze on it intact.
Oh wow.
Catherine Fraser, owner of public relations firm Biz 3, raised two sons as a single mother in her sacred oasis in Altadena. She'd planned to retire in the home that burned to the ground. It's just unbelievable, she said. Our entire community is gone. Every house, shop, school, even the fire department itself. Ouch.
Hmm.
Matt Gutman, a veteran ABC News reporter who has covered war overseas and countless natural disasters, is shaken by the experience of covering the devastation in the Palisades, an area he knows well from family members who resided there. He watched his aunt's house go up in flames while thinking to himself, "This is where we do Thanksgivings." When he returned the next day, the landscape of the fire scarred neighborhood looked eerily unfamiliar. It's the sea of naked chimneys without houses wrapped around.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. This is a sea. It's a sea. It's the. Sorry, I'm almost done. It's the sea of naked chimneys without houses wrapped around them, and this desert of ash and gray in what had been a place of great color and liveliness. Gutman said it's very jarring.
Hmm.
The LA fires are expected to rank as the costliest natural disaster in U.S. history and will impact every sector and industry in Southern California and beyond. Entertainment and media businesses have no special immunity. In fact, the high volume of industry insiders, from CEOs to A-listers to, uh, I don't know if that's LATSE or IATSE
Hmm.
members, and character actors who called the Palisades in Altadena home means the pain and ripple effects across Hollywood and the creative community will be severe and long lasting.
Hmm.
Overnight, I had clients from out of town who were being evacuated from hotels along Sunset Boulevard, and everything started breaking down and pivoting, said Andrew Colin, chief operating officer of Smuggler, a commercial production house. We just ramped down for safety. Some are going to postpone indefinitely, and a couple of the projects that need to be produced on a shorter timeline and don't have the luxury of a longer postponement are going to have to go to a region that is not subject to this fire's danger. We got the room over here, Callie. Right?
Hmm.
Yep.
Wildfire. Okay, I got to see how long this.
I think we get the point, Janet. You don't have to go on.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, it's another 3 or 4 paragraphs anyway.
Yeah. Take a yeah.
Yeah.
Rest your
We got
Okay,
almost
can I
10
read
minutes
this one
left.
paragraph real quick?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's this one paragraph, and then I'll quit.
Okay.
Another immediate impact for showbiz has been the upending of the usual parade of award shows, premieres, and celebratory events in January and February, culminating in the Academy Awards set for March 2nd. Already, the Oscar nominations announcement date has been postponed nearly a week to January 23rd because of the upheaval.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all I'm going to read because there's about another 7 or 8 more paragraphs to read.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. For people like me, uh, I saw this on the news tonight. This is a little scary. Dementia risk may be twice as high as Americans live longer.
Wait,
What
what?
happened?
Dementia risk may be twice as high as Americans live longer, a study has found.
So dementia is higher if you live longer?
Yeah.
That's what this report says.
Wow,
Mhm.
Shirley,
Yeah.
you were talking about the Great Value chicken broth
Mm-hmm.
recall.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how many cases they recalled?
Where was my plan to zone?
Janet.
2,000
Yes,
cases
I
of
know.
bra.
I know.
She
It was in the
mentioned that in
story.
the article. Jan,
Okay.
you already read that.
Okay, so anyway, here's what's going on. And this was posted today, and updated at 12:07 p.m. today. The risk of developing dementia may be much higher than previously thought, a study published today in the journal Nature Medicine has found. Older studies estimated that about 14% of men and 23% of women would develop dementia in their lifetimes. The new study puts that estimate higher at around 42% for both men and women. I think this is going to be a very important study, and I think it is going to change the way we look at dementia, said Dr. Ted Huey, director of the Memory and Aging Program at Butler Hospital in Rhode Island, who wasn't involved with the research. More than anything, the increase in both risk and the number of people living with dementia, which the researchers estimated will double by 2060, is the result of people living longer than previous generations, said study leader Dr. Joseph Koresh, director of the Optimal Aging Institute at the NYU Grossman School of Medicine. Just the fact that the population is going to get older will mean the number of dementia cases will double overall, Koresh said. Among Black Americans, for whom the risk is greater, the number of cases is expected to triple. About 10% of Americans over the age of 65 have been diagnosed with dementia, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Nearly 7 million people in the U.S. have Alzheimer's, the most common type of dementia. The study included more than 15,000 people in the U.S. who were tracked for more than 2 decades. About 1/4 of the participants were Black, and more than half were women, two groups known to have elevated risk. According to the study, the average 55-year-old's risk of dementia during their lifetime is 42%, but the risk was not the same at every age. The brunt of it occurred after a person's 85th birthday. Between ages 55 and 75, the average person's risk of developing dementia was 4%, according to the study. By the time someone turned 85, their risk was about 20%. Risk didn't reach 42% until the person's 95th birthday. For Black Americans and women, the risk was higher, but the pattern was similar. Let's see. Black Americans had a 7% risk by age 75, nearly double the average. By 85, the risk jumped to 28%, and by 95, it was 42%. For women, this risk was 3% by 75, 21% by 85, and 48% by 95. We need to think about the causes for this risk and how to prevent it, Koresh said. Let's see. Past research has found elevated risk may be caused by higher rates of diabetes and hypertension in Black Americans, largely due to inequalities regarding access to care and structural racism that can cause stress, which puts people at higher risk for dementia. A lot of the elevated risk in women can be attributed to the fact that on average women live longer than men, but that isn't the whole story. A generic variant called APOE4, which elevates a person's risk for Alzheimer's disease, may raise risk more for women than for men in certain age groups. Research into whether pregnancy has any part in dementia risk has produced mixed results. And guess what? There's too many autographs. Too many autographs. Try it again. Too many paragraphs. I'm going to stop right there. But this is serious. This is really serious. Don't worry, folks. I'm going to grab another bottle of water as soon as the show's over.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. I'm so drunk. At least on water. All right, but when I saw that on the news earlier, it's like, oh wow, that's serious. But thankfully, one thing they definitely said: play brain games. And I do that every morning, so I love to play. There's things I do. Boggle, I do Wordscapes, I do Words of Wonder, the Words of Wonder Guru, Letter Soup. Because I love those games where I can challenge my brain, you know?
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, go ahead, Janet.
I like the word games, but I also like puzzle games.
Oh yeah.
Like they have the color sort games where you
Mm-hmm.
get all the water stacked together. I like games like that.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't like the shooter games.
Yeah, I'm not big into shooter games. I like games where it keeps me thinking. Like Among Us is kind of, I guess you could call it a shooter game, but it's a game of strategy as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, when people ask me what is Among Us, I describe it as a cross between a escape room and a murder mystery.
yeah,
It's a whodunit in a escape room.
yeah, that sounds about
You
right.
got to figure out who did it
Mm-hmm.
while staying alive. So
Yeah. And there's some cases like if you have two imposters, one imposter could turn on the other one if you wanted to, you know?
yeah, hey, I've played in a room of 15 people and three imposters.
Mm-hmm.
One is easy, two is normal, three imposters is totally nuts.
Well, yeah, when you got 15 people. but I love playing games where I have to think. So that's why, and one of the apps I love using is Elevate because I keep up with it every day. I'm nearly at a 700-day streak.
Nice.
Oh crap!
Yeah, because I just love
reminding
to
me.
do it. I love to do those kinds of games.
I gotta find out if there's a charge for that game.
I think it's like $39.99 a year. It's not that bad.
No monthly?
No. Well, there might be a monthly, but 39 for me, $39.95 a year is excellent. But that's just me. I mean, you do it however you think works best for you. Okay. I just give a suggestion, but you don't have to follow it. Okay. That's how I am.
Right.
Okay, now let me do one last quick check here. Alright, there is 7 minutes left in the game, and it is still 27-9.
Wow.
So,
Really quick on my end. So there's a rumor going around that Nintendo is going to reveal the Nintendo Switch 2 on Thursday. Again, that's not confirmed. We might know either tomorrow or Wednesday.
yeah.
Hopefully we get an announcement. I hope we get a release date, and I hope we get a price so I can work on saving for one.
Yeah. I agree.
And usually Nintendo has been pretty fair, unlike PlayStation and Xbox when it comes to pricing.
Yeah, and one other quick thing before we go. I found out Nintendo, I think it's online. They're putting out the Robotech game for only $9.99.
Oh damn it! I don't have a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, but it's only $9.99. It's like, and you get to play. You can play as Roy. You can play as Rick. You know?
Nice, not bad.
Yeah.
Plays Dixon, Ben Dixon.
I don't know about that one, but it's pretty cool. All right, so anyway, here is the plan for the rest of the week. I will be doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links on Wednesday, and on Friday we'll be doing another bout of Trivia Night. So.
And I'll be streaming hopefully on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
If not, then it'll just be on Monday. I don't care at this point. There's just a lot of stuff coming up, so.
Yeah. And that's okay. That's fine. All right, so basically that is our plan for the rest of this week. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the ending, so bear with us for 15 seconds.
Okay, bye.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just say love, peace, and chicken grease. Everyone have a great night. Sleep well. Stay safe. I will see you Wednesday for Duel Links, and we'll see you on Friday for Trivia Night. So, peace out. Night, y'all.
Hi, everybody.
Bye, everyone.